Oh, hello there. This hour on Verbling, the next in my Hot Topics series. This is the class where we look at important topics, news stories coming up in the media all around the world, and we discuss it from our different cultural perspectives. It's always interesting to see how the same news story is interpreted differently in different parts of the world. And today's topic is going to be all about Facebook. How has Facebook changed the world? We'll be talking about that and more in just a minute. First, a quick introduction, and then we'll get started. I'm John Eric, your Verbling teacher for this hour. I'm an American teacher from New York, coming at you today from Lisbon, Portugal, to bring you this class. By the way, if you click on the link in the Verbling chat window, or you click on my name anywhere in the Verbling website, it'll take you here to my profile page. On the left, you can click follow to see my get notifications of my upcoming group classes. And on the right, you can book a private tutoring session or a package with me, and I'll work with you on creating a personalized learning plan to help get you to your goals as soon as possible. So that's a little bit about me. Let's take a look at the material for today, and then we'll get started. As soon as this loads, I'll give you a link, and you can download this to your computer if you like. Okay, so there's the link in the group chat. And for those of you in the classroom, there's the link inside. Okay, we're going to give everyone a minute or two. Oh, you know what? I don't want to show this slide. I want to show this slide. That's the one I want you to look at. We're going to give everyone a minute or two to come in. But first, let's say hello to Mr. Marcos. Hello, Marcos.
Hello, teacher. Are you hearing me?
Yes, you're a little bit distorted, but I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay, and where are you from, Marcos?
I'm from Brazil, Rio de Janeiro.
From Rio. Very good. Nice to have you. And let's say a quick welcome to Mr. Giancarlo. Hello, Giancarlo. Welcome back.
Thank you, John. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, we're going to be talking all about Facebook and how it's changed the world that we live in. I want to start with a little experiment. I want you to think of 5 English words that are used in Spanish or in Portuguese. Tell me what words from the English language are used in an everyday way in your countries. Little experiment.
Who start the answer?
Anyone. You, if you like.
Okay. Sandwich.
Sandwich.
Hot dog.
Sandwich. Hot dog.
Facebook.
Okay, so that's 3. That's a good start.
Okay.
So, Facebook, how is that used? You mean people refer to Facebook? They'll say, "Oh, do you have a Facebook account?" You mean something like that, or do you use Facebook in another way? Because you'll see what I mean in just a second. So we've got these 3: sandwich, hot dog, and Facebook. What about in Mexico, Giancarlo? What English words are used commonly in Spanish?
In Spanish or in English, well, internet connection.
So you don't say ligazione, you say internet connection, yeah?
Yeah, internet connection, computers, what else? Password, Facebook, Twitter.
You actually say the word password in English, like yo tengo password.
Yo tengo ay, ¿cómo se dice No, hay otra palabra en español, no recuerdo en este momento cómo se diga, pero Clave, yo creo que clave o algo por el estilo. Mi clave de acceso y todo esto.
So you don't. So because I'm saying in Portuguese, here in Portugal, people will say palavra pass, right? They don't actually say password, but everyone knows the word password.
Yes.
But okay, but maybe they would say, for example, there's a lot of words that are used which are funny. Now, right now I'm blanking, and they're used in kind of a different way, though. So we've got internet connection, computer. Password sounds like it's not actually used in English. Let's see if we can get a few other ideas here. What I'm getting at is I'm curious where the words came from that are commonly used. So, for example, sandwich and hot dog. Okay, I imagine they've been used for a long, long time. Interestingly, Marcos,
Yes.
I noticed in Brazil there are certain English words that are used that we don't use here in Portugal, where I live. Sometimes, like, I'm trying to think of a really good example. Sometimes I'll hear Brazilian speakers say Portuguese words that are taken from English. Like, for example, here we say saldos. After Christmas time, the prices drop, and we have saldos.
Saldos.
Right. I've heard people say that in Brazil you say sales, like in English. I don't know if that's true, but I've heard people say that. Maybe it depends on where you're from.
Yes, it's true.
It's true. So it's interesting where these English words come from. Let me see. Let's get a few other opinions out there as well. Mr. Hussein, what English words are used in Turkish? When you're speaking Turkish in an everyday situation, what English words do people not translate?
For example, standard.
Standard, yeah?
Standard. Yes.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, anything else come to mind?
Yeah. I don't know. Sandwich as well.
Sandwich.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So we've got standard and sandwich. That way we know that your sandwiches, we know if your standard sandwiches are up to standard, because we have those two words in English. That's good. All right. And let's see who else is out there. We've got Jose, welcome to class. Saiban, welcome back. Anna Carolina, welcome back as well. So what I'm getting at here is I'm curious how words have entered your language, right? What English words are used and where they come from. Because when people were surveyed across, in different countries, different nationalities, certain words kept reoccurring. One of those words is friend in English. And not friend like amigo, but friend as a verb. Like we would say, to friend. Eu vou friendar. Converting the word friend into a verb. So that's one of the ones that came up. Okay, my next question for all of you is, I'll put this in the chat window so you can see. Has the number of English words increased since the invention of social media? In other words, has English been increasing over the last, let's say, 20 years, particularly since Facebook? What do you think about that? Jose, what would you say? Has the number of English words been increasing in Spain since
Yes, of
Facebook
course.
and social media?
I think the number of words has increased the last years, because when you use new technologies, you can exchange information between some countries.
True, and are there any words in particular that are normal in
For example,
Spain now?
stop.
Stop.
You can see the word stop in all the signs.
International word.
Yeah, I think it's an international word, no?
Right. I wonder, is that because of social media or is that because of the EU? Because of, trying to standardize Traffic.
For example,
Traffic
for
rules.
example, the malls are using now the word Black Friday.
Really?
Yes,
Oh, that's interesting. Does everyone know what that means? Black Friday? Has everyone heard of that
Yes,
term? Yeah?
yes.
You
May
have that
I?
in Brazil?
Um, Not like in the US, but uh, they try to imitate. They launch some promotions, but they mislead us because they higher the price, then they put it down.
They higher or they raise?
Sorry, teacher. They
They
raise it,
raise the price,
and
right?
and then they put it down. And you know
That's-
it's not the Black Friday in the US.
do you know where it comes from? That expression, Black Friday?
No.
Black Friday is the day after Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving is the 24th of November, right? It's always on a, no, it's not the 24th, I'm sorry. It's always the last Thursday in November. So the next day, Friday, which happens to be the beginning of the weekend, is the official opening to Christmas shopping. It's the Christmas season. So people rush to places like, I don't know, big stores, you name it, Toys R Us or one of these big places to get Christmas presents early. And crazy things happen. They line up in multitudes and they go like locusts and take everything in the store. And there really are mobs out there. So yes, I guess they have some promotions. I don't know. I stay away from those things. People have literally been trampled to death, crushed in the crowds on Black Friday. It's horrible. So it seems like a weird thing to be exporting around the world. But anyway, I see what you mean. It's like considered like, it's supposed to be like a promotion. Anyway,
yes.
it's the official start of Christmas shopping the day after Thanksgiving on the Friday, the last Friday of November, right? Because the idea is everyone has been celebrating Thanksgiving, right? So you are going to get a head start on shopping because everyone else is going to be, you know, whatever, celebrating. So you're going to get a head start. But everyone is getting the same head start because it was a holiday the day before. So it's like a long weekend. Anyway, that's where it comes from. Black Friday. Okay, one more question, then we're going to get into, actually we need to jump forward and look at our vocabulary as well. So let's keep some of these ideas in mind. These are some of the questions I've been asking you, mostly about how social media has affected your language. Okay, I'm going to jump forward for a moment here, and I want you to be aware of some of the vocabulary that you're going to encounter, because we're going to be reading this article from The Guardian. It's kind of short this time, so we'll have plenty of time for discussion. Okay, and I'm going to try to work with you on the pronunciation and definition of some of the key words you're going to find. Here's what we're going to do. I'm just going to read and repeat the following words. I'm going to ask you a question about some of the ones that are difficult, and if there's any that you don't understand that we missed, just ask me and we'll clarify. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 here, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 over here, right? 14 words altogether. A lot of these you'll know, okay? Some of them you might not. The first word is super easy, so I'll say it and then you repeat for pronunciation. Brand.
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 Only one person? 2? Good.
Brand.
3?
Brand.
4? You can say it at the same time. If you say it, if there's any problems with pronunciation, I will most likely hear it. Okay, the next word is difficult to pronounce. Phenomenon. Phenomenon.
Phenomenon.
Now you try.
Phenomenon.
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 Good.
Phenomenon.
Careful with the last syllable, because it's not phenomenon, it's phenomenon. It's more of a nun. It's a weak syllable. So instead of the O, it's going to be more like an Phenomenon.
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 Okay, good.
Phenomenon.
Okay, I'm still hearing a lot of nons. Instead of non, none. None. Like that.
None.
That's it.
Phenomenon.
That's it. That's it. It's better. Okay, the next word is, next word's easy to pronounce. Fan base. Fan base. Now you.
Fan base.
Fan
Fan
base.
base.
Very
Fan base.
Okay. Jose, you only have to say it once.
Okay.
I'll hear it if there's a problem. I'm going to say it twice. You say it once. The next word is regimes. Regimes. Now you.
Regimes.
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 Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Not J. Regimes. It's a soft G.
Regimes.
Regimes.
Regime.
That's right. So be careful. Don't say it the way you would say the name John, for example, because it's not J. It's J, like measure. Regime.
Measure.
Regimes.
That's it.
Regime.
Very good. The next word is easy to pronounce and easy to understand. You probably know it. It's a phrasal verb. Hand over. Listen to where I put the D. I don't say hand over. I say hand over. The D goes to the second word.
Hand over.
Good. Now you.
Hand over.
Hand over.
Very good.
Hand over.
Okay. Next word you all know from Facebook. Newsfeed. Newsfeed. Now you.
Newsfeed.
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 Good.
News feed.
Very good. The last word, you probably know what the word is. Spouse. Spouse. Now you.
Spouse.
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 Okay.
Spouse.
Very good. Let's see. Mr. Hussein, what is a spouse? Do you know?
No, I don't know.
Uh-oh. And Carolina, what's a spouse?
A husband or
A husband.
a wife.
Or a wife, right. So a spouse is a gender-neutral term. Could be husband or wife. Okay? This is my spouse. Okay? So we use that all the time, but you might want to use it on a form or something like that, or in a more formal email. It can be used all the time, but it's a good term because it's not a specific husband or wife, gender neutral. You might see it more in a formal situation. V, let me ask you, what is a phenomenon? Oh my goodness. That's almost too difficult to answer.
Phenomenon.
What would you say?
Event.
It's an event?
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of an event? Is this
I
class a
think-
phenomenon? It's an event.
No. Maybe if that is sometimes famous or infamous.
Infamous.
Infamous. Yeah.
Infamous. Okay, I think that's a good definition. In the context of this article, they're going to talk about phenomenon in its everyday meaning, not its real meaning. The real meaning is something that happens in the world, a phenomenon, something that occurs. But in this context, it's going to be something unusual that occurs. Like you said, something infamous or something famous, something that stands out in some way. Facebook has been a phenomenon. It has transformed the way we relate to each other for good or bad. It's a phenomenon. Okay, are there any other words here in this list that you need defined or you need examples of, or is everything pretty much clear? If we're good, we're going to go on to our second group.
No, no.
Good? Okay.
No, I don't know hand over.
Hand over. Okay, this is a phrasal verb. In 1999, was it? Hong Kong handed over power from Britain
Okay.
to the Chinese government. Hand over. Can you think of another kind of a handover?
Deliver.
Deliver, yeah. Deliver. Transfer. To change from one party to another. Hand over. So usually it's about giving or transferring something. But yes, deliver could work here too. Yeah?
And newsfeed.
And newsfeed is the thing in Facebook. When you get notifications, that's your newsfeed.
Okay.
The place
Fan
where you get.
base.
And what? I'm sorry.
Fan base.
Ah, fan base. Let me ask you a question. Famous bloggers and video people, on YouTube, whatever they're called, YouTube people. What do we call all of their followers? What's another way to say followers? Aren't they also fans? Because they're people who, for example, in sports, you have sports players who have fans, right? So the followers, because I think on Verbling we call them followers, don't we? If you can click follow and then you're a follower of a particular teacher. So in social media, there's many different names, but in general we'll say fan base because those are the people that are going to be willing to pay for something, or they're going to be following you around. So in this context, it's the people that are willing to pay or support a particular celebrity, personality, blogger, you name it. Okay, so it's a synonym of follower or Facebook friend, except that they're willing to pay for a product, because it's always in the context here of mostly about business, about commerce. All right? So, just like in Portuguese, fan is someone who is a supporter, like in of a team, of a sports team. The fan base is the group of supporters, the group of fans. Question, V?
Yeah. So what is the difference between fan base and fandom?
Fandom?
Yeah.
Fandom is like slang. It's kind of like a funny slang word. But fandom...
Do they have the same meaning?
I don't think so, because fan base is that group of people that you can count on to be your supporters and possibly buy products. It's like your core group, your fan base. It also could be a synonym for the word demographic, too. Demographic. Your fan base is probably a certain age, a certain gender, a certain income. So it could be the same as saying the demographic of followers, your fan base. My fan base is millennials with a, six-figure income or something like that. So the kinds of people that follow you. You're going to see it again in the article, and you'll get more context in just a minute. Fandom sounds like kind of a slang term for, let's use the word phenomenon, the phenomenon of fans. What is I don't know, maybe unusual about the people that follow you, or the fact that you can have followers at all is sort of fandom. It's a little bit different. If I can think of a better explanation of fandom, I will. I'll tell you. Right now I can't think of anything. If you can think of a better example, V, let us know, though, because right now nothing else comes to mind. But it's very particular, very slang. Okay, on the second page, all of these words are probably clear to you, and the pronunciation. We'll go over them in a second. We've got breaking news, resource, engage with, revenue, major player, minefield. The ones that are probably difficult, I would say, are revenue, minefield, those two, and maybe what a major player is in this context. Okay? Revenue. Anyone want to give that a shot? Revenue. What do you think that is?
The
don't know.
income of the
Revenue
company.
is the money that you earn.
The money that you earn, the money that you make, particularly if you have a company, right? You can earn it yourself, but it's probably through a business situation. V, what were you going to say?
Yeah, say the income of a company.
Income of a company, the
something.
revenue.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. Not necessarily the profit, just the total income. Okay. Minefield. Well, you know what a mine is. A mine is something that explodes. Not a bomb. It's planted in the ground. What do you think a minefield is in the context of Facebook, social media, business, what do you think a minefield means here?
Hard topics to discuss.
Could be, yeah. Something that if you discuss it, it could blow up in your face. In the sense that if you, for example, a political debate is a minefield for candidates. Anything they say can be used against them.
Yes.
Yeah?
It's a controversial topic, no?
Yeah, something that could be controversial. The point is, if it's a minefield, something could happen as a result that's negative. Doesn't have to be a topic. Could be any situation, but something that could figuratively explode later, right? Letting your, I don't know, for example, in America, some states have a drinking age of 21. Others have a drinking age of 18. It could be a minefield to lower the drinking age to 18, although statistically, it could be argued that it causes less problems because people get used to alcohol sooner. But it's a minefield because people will be against it, right? Just as an example. Could be anything we're talking about, something that could blow up later, something that could explode with negative repercussions can be a minefield. Okay, are there any other words on this page that you're not familiar with before we actually do the reading? Are we cool? If we're cool, we're going to move on. Okay? So you'll see these again in the actual text. Let's get started. All right? So I'm going to go in the order that I see you from left to right. Anna Carolina, and then Hussein, then Giancarlo, then Jose, then Marcos, then Sam, and then V. Okay? So let's see. We've got 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have actually, it's divided in 7 parts, so we have the perfect amount. So Anna Carolina, you're going to take the introduction, which is the first column, okay? On the left. Are you there, Anna Carolina? Uh-oh, I don't hear Anna Carolina. Maybe she stepped away. Uh-oh. Okay, Mr. Hussein, can you take the first part, the introduction on the left?
Teacher.
Oh, you're back.
No, I was here all the time. My computer was frozen.
Okay, you're back.
No,
So,
I was here, teacher. I couldn't click on the microphone. My computer was frozen.
and now it's unfrozen.
Yes, sorry.
Okay, go for it, Anna Carolina.
Should I read?
Yeah, you're going to take the introduction, which is the whole column on the left side, the first column.
Okay. The Guardian. Ways Facebook has changed the world. From relationships to revolutions, ways Facebook has changed the world. On one day in August 1, in 7 people on Earth, 1 billion people used Facebook, according to founder Mark Zuckerberg. In 10 years, the social network has completely changed people's relationships, privacy, their business, news media, helped to end regimes,
Good.
and even change the meanings of common words. A more open and connected world is better world. It brings stronger relationships with those who you love, a stronger economy with more opportunities, and a stronger society, wrote Zuckerberg.
Careful with his name, though. Zuckerberg. Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg.
That's
Thank you.
it. Very good, very good.
These are just some of the ways his company changed everything for better or worse.
Okay, very good. And what I'm going to do is, as you read, I'm going to ask the next person in the line to answer a comprehension question based on what you just heard. And we're going to go around the room, all right? So Hussein, you're going to get the first question. Okay, but before you do, my computer's loading a little slowly. I want to show you something really quick, Anna. Just a second. Give me just a second here. Okay. There are actually two things I want you to repeat in the chat window. The date. I want you to say that date again that I wrote in the chat window.
Sorry. August 1st.
Yeah. Not one, but either two ways to say it. Because I think the first time you said 1 August. You could say it two ways. August 1st, or you could say the 1st of, like that. The 1st of, and then the month.
Okay.
Either way
The
is okay.
The 1st of August.
The 1st of August. Good. Okay, one other thing. I wrote the IPA symbols for that second word because what's happening is you and every other Brazilian and Portuguese speaker, when they speak English, tend to drop the endings of the words. So you actually really have to be careful of that. First, for example, connected. We need to hear the id at the end. Connected.
Okay. Connected.
That's it.
It's because we always pronounce it very strongly, and then most of the words we don't have to pronounce, and then when we have to, we forget, you know.
Mm-hmm. So when you see a word that ends with the T, a past tense word ending with a T, it'll always be pronounced strongly because it's always tid. Always. So if it ends with a T, you pronounce that second syllable. If it doesn't end with a T, you're right. It's probably swallowed. Like reversed, right? We don't say reversed, we say reversed. So when it ends with an S, you don't add the extra syllable. But when it ends with a T, you do. So that's one little trick you can keep in mind. Okay, Hussein, I have a question for you based on what Anna just read. Okay?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah, and
My question is, I have to see my questions. Here they are. Okay. So, based on what Anna read, how much of the world is connected to Facebook at the present time? How much of the world?
yeah, it says 1 billion people use Facebook.
Mm-hmm. So how much of the world is that?
I think at least 50%, maybe.
How much?
50%.
No, not 50%. It's 1/7 of the world at the present time. 1/7, right? Because right now there's about 7 billion people. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think we're quite at 7 billion. I don't think we're quite there yet. I can't really remember, but it's about 1/7 of the world. Anyway, you're right. 1 billion people. How many people, Hussein? How many people have a telephone? What do you think?
I don't know, but I know there are other people who don't have it. For
It's
example,
true.
in Africa, people do not use telephone, internet.
Yeah. I've heard.
Other places in the world, they do not have telephone.
Right, right. I've heard it's as high as 50%. I don't know if it's true, but I've heard that. I haven't looked it up. Okay, anyway, so it's interesting. Imagine you have something close to 50% of the world doesn't have a telephone, but you've got 1/7 of the world has used Facebook. It starts to give you an idea of how the population of the world is made up. Okay, Hussein, take number 1, the first part for us. First section there. Facebook has changed.
The definition of friend. The friend is now a word, and unlike in real life, it is easy to unfriend someone. A word meant to describe ending a Facebook friendship when that person is no longer improving your Facebook newsfeed. Although the meanings of the words share and like are basically the same, Facebook has made the terms more important to us. School and university reunions are unnecessary. We already know whose career is going well, whether the perfect pair has split, and you've seen pictures of your schoolmates they leave. You won't be surprised to see an ex in the street with a new girlfriend or boyfriend. We already know they're dating someone else from the romantic selfies.
Selfies. Okay, good. I want you to repeat two words. I'm going to try to put them in the chat window quickly. Give me a second here. The chat window is a little bit... This is the first one. Say that again.
Unnecessary.
But look, I don't know if you can see the IPA symbols, but the stress is on the second syllable. You'll see a little asterisk, not asterisk, a little apostrophe on the second syllable. Not the first, on the second.
Unnecessary.
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 Right. Yeah, when I copy and paste the IPA symbols into the chat window, they get pushed down on one line, so it's a little bit hard to read the word. But if you notice, before the N, there's a little apostrophe. It tells you that that's the stress when you look it up in a dictionary. So it's on the ness. Unnecessary. Okay? And say this word, oops, give me a second. Say this word again for me, this one in the chat window. Selfie. Selfie. Fee. Say fee.
Selfie.
That's it. Okay. I was hearing it more like a V sound. Okay, very good. Let's continue. Mr. Jose. Oh, wait, Jose, I've got a question for you. Why
Yes.
are school reunions unnecessary? Why are reunions unnecessary, according to what Hussein read?
Because
For that,
you could keep in touch using new technologies. It's not necessary to have a meeting.
good, good, good. What does reunion mean in English? Because it doesn't mean the same in every language. It's a false friend. What does reunion mean, Jose?
Reunion when two people or more coming together.
Not exactly.
Again,
Not exactly.
after a period of separation.
Yeah, okay, okay. So look, it's not, it's, sorry about the noise in the background, if you can
When
hear
you
that.
haven't seen a person for a long time, after that, you...
That's right, that's right. That's the key idea.
Yes.
It's someone that you haven't seen, because in other languages, reunion just means meeting. But in English, it's not a meeting. You have to have been separated for a long time, like a decade or something like that. So we have high school reunions, sometimes college reunions, college meeting university. Okay? Okay, take it away, Jose. Next part.
Okay, but unlike in real life on Facebook, all your friends have the same importance. A classmate from university who you haven't seen for 15 years, a friend of a friend from a party, or a colleague you've never actually spoken to in person, they are all Facebook friends in the same way as your closest friend, or your spouse, or your mom. It doesn't necessarily mean we see them the same way. Professor Robin Dunbar is famous for his research that suggests a person can only have about 150 people as a social group. Facebook hasn't changed that yet, he believes, but Dunbar says he fears it is so easy simply to end friendships on Facebook that eventually people may not need to learn to get on with each other.
Okay, very good. Take a look at the pronunciation word I wrote
Okay.
in the chat window.
Famous.
Good, that's it. So when I write it in the
Because
IPA symbols, you said it perfectly.
I read the IPA symbol.
Yeah. That, but because before you said famous, and here
No,
you said famous.
famous.
Very good. Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, Marcos, this question is for you.
Okay.
What exactly does Dunbar fear? What is Dunbar afraid of exactly? Can you say it in your own words?
Sorry, you can repeat the question, please?
The question is, what is Dunbar, Robin Dunbar, afraid of? In your own words, what's he afraid of?
Okay. I say fear to use a simple. It is so. Eventually, people may not need to learn. Okay, he are afraid of this kind of relationship is it's not easy. It's easy to people not need to learn to improve the relationships between related relatives.
Okay. People won't learn to improve their relationships because it's so easy to do what? So easy
to communicate through the social media.
Yeah, but that's not the main idea. The main idea is they might not learn to improve their relationships because it's easy to unfriend somebody. To unfriend.
Ah, okay.
So that was the key word here you could use. It's so easy to unfriend someone that rather than learning how to deal with the problem or deal with the person, you can just close the door. That's what he's worried about. It doesn't mean it's true. It just means that's his fear. It's easy to unfriend. So becoming a friend is now clicking a button, and ending a relationship is now clicking a button. So he's worried about the implications for that. Okay, very good. Take part 2 for us on the next page, Mr. Marcos.
Okay. The surprising this is in Facebook user happily hand over the information.
Wait. Start again. We care less about privacy. That's the title. We care less about privacy.
Okay.
And
we care less about privacy.
And 2 words. Happily, not happy. Happily.
Happily.
Okay.
I will start again.
Yes,
the surprising this in that Facebook user happily hand over their information. Pew Research Center found that most young people are more than willing to hand over their details. 91% post a photo of themselves. 71% post the city or town where they live. More than half give email addresses, and a fifth give their phone number. But because so much of a person's life is shared online, Facebook gives people a way to create an image and a fan base. Academics have described a new phenomenon, the Facebook self. More than 18% of Facebook users list their interest, which allows brands to target there efficiently, but most younger users limit who can see their profiles, with 60% allowing friends only.
Okay, very good reading. I'm going to give you 2 IPA words. IPA, when I say IPA, I mean International Phonetic Alphabet words. Look at the chat window and tell me if you can read those 2 words.
No, I can't.
Uh-oh, you've got to learn the IPA. It'll help you. The first word, it says D, and then the second syllable is, now I forgot what it was, T-A-Ls. If you put it together, it's details.
Details.
Right, because I think what happened was when you read it, you said their detail, you put the stress on the wrong syllable. Their details, their details.
Details.
Okay, so their details. I guess, you know what? It may depend on where you're from, where you put the stress. Now that I think about it, to detail is a verb. Details. Well, no, to detail. Detail, I guess, is the verb, and details is the noun. I think that's how it works. I'm trying to think what sounds right. The second word is, there's an I. That's the first, that letter I is an I. Can you try to read the rest of the word? Even if you don't recognize the syllables, try it. Marcos?
Uh,
The first sound is
e- effectively.
Good.
It's difficult. It's
Good.
effectively.
That's perfect. Effectively.
Effectively.
Good. Good.
Effectively.
That's it. It's not actually E, it's an I. That symbol looks like an E, but it's not. It's an I. In the International Phonetic Alphabet, capital I represents the sound I, not E.
I.
Okay? But I wrote that because you didn't say that, you said efficient. You saw the word, but you substituted it for a different word. Effectively. Effectively.
Effectively.
That's it. Very good. Okay, Sam, I have a question about part 2 for you. The question is, Sam, what is the Facebook self? What is a Facebook self according to what Marcos read?
Yes, actually, academic, um, the new phenomena to describe the academics.
A new phenomenon to describe what?
Academics.
A Facebook self does not describe academics. No, I don't agree.
No, at last line, yes. Sure, online Facebook, especially, they create images and fan base.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and Facebook self have described new phenomena about not just related with academic. We can say that we learn or like that, but it's we can send them a lot of things, I think, through Facebook.
I'm still not sure I understand what a Facebook self is, though. Not sure I understand. Do I have a Facebook self? Do you have a Facebook self, Sam? Is it different than who we really are?
I mean that Facebook self actually a new phenomena.
Yeah, that's true. Good.
Yes, and especially sorry, Facebook self is to share our life online, and for example, the people who can send images to each others.
Yeah.
Like that, and we can say that a lot of things we can share through this Facebook.
Okay. I think that's much more clear. What you share through Facebook becomes your identity. In other words, so the Facebook self is a new definition of who you are. It's not really who you are. It's the image you create by what you share. The image you create by what you share. I think maybe this is a good way to. So I agree with you. Yeah, absolutely. What you don't share, right, is not part of your image. So it gives you an idea of why this is a new idea about identity. Okay, Sam, can you do number 3? And then V, you're going to do number 4, and then we're going to have a little discussion at the end. Go ahead, Sam.
Yes. Facebook has created millions of jobs, but not in its own offices. Facebook provides indirect employment for people whose job it is to make Facebook work for their brand. It is a tool like no other, said Michael
Tinmouth, I guess.
Tinmouth, a social media strategist who has worked with brands such as Vodafone and Microsoft. Marketers have an understanding of a brand's customers like they have never had before. The data available is extraordinary. You know who your customers are, who they are friends with, and how they engage with your brand. And advertisers pay a lot for that. Facebook reported advertising revenue had increased by 46%, reaching $3.32 billion.
Okay, very good. There's just one word I want you to take another look at.
Okay.
Quickly. Look at that IPA symbol I wrote, those symbols I wrote, and tell me if you can say that word.
Extraordinary.
Okay. That's true. It's the right word.
Mhm.
But look how I say it. Look at the way it's written. It's not written extraordinary. It's extraordinary. Yeah, extraordinary.
Extraordinary. Yeah. Extraordinary.
You're adding an extra.
Extraordinary.
You're adding an extra syllable. Not extra or no.
Okay.
Extraordinary. Extraordinary.
Extraordinary.
That's it. Extraordinary.
Extraordinary.
That's it. Good.
Mhm.
Okay. So I put the IPA symbols there because
Yes, I can see.
it helps. It helps a bit. It helps a bit. Okay. Okay. Very good. V. The question for you, based on what she read, is this: how has Facebook changed advertising, both in positive and negative ways? Briefly, how has Facebook changed the advertising game, V?
I think that based on the information Facebookers list in their personal information,
Mm-hmm.
and they send some messages to invite them to visit their page, or they can share on their followers on Facebook, and that is the quickest way to connect with brand new customers.
That's true. Yeah. So one of the changes is that you can connect directly and quickly with customers. The vocabulary word we used before was engage with. That means to interact with them. So that's a positive way. And maybe a negative way. Oh, we didn't actually get to the negative way, did we? We will. V, why don't you continue the last column and we'll see the negative way.
The last column, which one? Number 4?
Let's see, Sam, what was the last thing you read? Was it 32 billion?
Yes.
Okay, so you're gonna take it from the top of the last column, V.
Oh, okay. Facebook is also a minefield for brands. Suddenly, customers don't simply complain on the phone to a customer service representative or on a small specialist internet forum. Angry customers can post their complaints for hundreds of their friends to see, or even on the brand's own page.
Keep going.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Keep going to the end of the
Okay.
column, okay?
Yeah. Facebook has been the tool to organize revolutions. Organizing demonstrations and direct action has been revolutionized by Facebook. Manchester University's Olga Onach found Facebook had been the key way for reaching half of all the Euromaidan protesters in Ukraine.
In Ukraine.
Many of the people interviewed in Onach's research said they relied on Facebook for the truth about what was happening. They don't trust traditional media.
Okay, very good. Okay, the last question for this part is for Anna Carolina, which is, how does Facebook challenge traditional news media? According to especially part 4, how does it challenge the news media, the traditional news media? Okay? Based on what you heard her read, what would you say about that?
I would say that she teach that now people can post things online, and some people rely on Facebook, and they believe that it is the truth, and sometimes it's not the truth.
And in the case of Ukraine, maybe it really is the truth, right? Because they don't trust the traditional media, so they turn to
Yes,
Facebook. So
in some places it can be the truth, and because there is no censorship. Maybe some newspapers can be sold to some powerful people,
of
and
course.
on Facebook you have the freedom to express yourself.
Okay, good, very well put. Yeah, so it challenges traditional news media because maybe there's less what we call vested interests in your posts. So then when they go viral, oh, by the way, that's a good expression. When they go viral, that means that they're seen by a mass of people, lots of people. It's like getting the truth out in a faster way without being filtered through the media. At least that's what they're trying to say about the revolution or the Euromaidan protesters, the ones from 2011 on up to the present. So there's a little more to read, but we're out of time. Okay, you can read the rest on your own. There's 2 more paragraphs here. I've even got a few things you could try on your own if you like here. And then it's really 5 and 6 are really something we need to do in class discussions. Okay, but there's also, oh, I don't have it here. Okay, it ends there. So we're going to have to stop here, but we'll have a final word before we go. Based on what you've read, now that you've got some new ideas and some new vocabulary, like to friend, to go viral, to unfriend. We talked a little about some other words in the beginning, to engage with clients and customers, the revenue a company makes, to hand over details. Remember, users are surprisingly willing to hand over personal details despite concerns about privacy. These are all good vocabulary words that you should be using. Has Facebook changed the way you arrange to meet with friends or stay in contact with your family? What are some changes you think it's made in your life? Just out of curiosity. Our final word is just how it's affected you. Does anyone not have a Facebook account, by the way?
Me, I do.
Congratulations, V. I'll tell you something. I only got it because Verbling made me get it. And now they won't let me use it. I never had one. Oh, actually, I did. I signed up and I never used it. But then with Verbling, in the beginning, we had to use Facebook. So I created one for Verbling, and now we can't use it. But so I don't know if it affects me or not. I'm not good with keeping up with it. Has anyone noticed a major change in the way they relate to people, friends and family, now that they use it? Just out of curiosity. My life is an open book. Okay, well listen, I've got to start the next class, so I want you to think about those. One thing you could do as a follow-up, you're welcome to do any of the exercises. If you like, you could send them to me as a text and I'll correct them through the message window. For example, you could write a short response, like a paragraph or so, to the discussion questions. Send it to me, and I'll send you back comments if you'd like some extra practice. We're going to stop here for the moment, okay? I'll be back in just a second for part 2 of our business class this week. We started a class all about transparency. We're going to read 2 important opinions about being transparent when it comes to salaries at work. And then we're going to have a little debate where you're going to defend one position or another. That's coming up in just a minute on Business Basics. Okay? See you in a moment. Bye for now, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Don't forget to friend me on Facebook. Bye.
Bye-bye.